Well, Governor Blagojevich went to work today in Chicago, which may make it seem like a normal day, although based on some reports in the past, I'm not sure how normal that is, because while he doesn't spend hardly any time at all in Springfield, there was one 8-minute story on a television station in Chicago about a year ago that found the governor often at his house or his campaign office and not always going to his downtown office. But certainly this is not a usual day in the history of Illinois or in the history of Rod Blagojevich's reign as governor. It's the first full day that we know that he stands accused by the federal government of various crimes, actually, that were put out in a complaint by U.S. Attorney Patrick Fitzgerald, alleging, among other things, that he tried to basically sell Barack Obama's now vacant U.S. Senate seat to someone who would either raise money for him or get him a job, or perhaps even get him a cabinet position if it was someone that Barack Obama wanted. Barack Obama himself, who's generated some pretty good publicity for Illinois lately by being elected the next president, claimed to reporters that he was not aware of any of these negotiations or deals that the governor was trying to do to get paid somehow, either in campaign contributions or other benefits, for naming someone to the Senate seat. And of course he called it a sad day, as many politicians have. It is clear, it has been clear in Springfield for some period of time that Governor Blagojevich is not a hands-on, day-to-day governor. So what his now being criminally charged means to the operation of state government is still in question. The office has awesome power. The governor's office can order grants to be released or not, order projects to move on or not, order employees to be put in one place or another. They don't have absolute power because, as the governor has tried to move more than 100 Illinois Department of Transportation employees to southern Illinois, that has been blocked through legislative and court action that the governor is trying to overcome. He's wanted to move close Pontiac Prison and move prisoners to other prisons, and open a wing of a prison in western Illinois in Thompson. And that was blocked, at least in part, by a court. So he doesn't have absolute power, but he has tremendous power. Still, his agency directors are going to be running things, but the ultimate decision maker at the top is clearly tainted now. Many legislators have already called for his resignation or his impeachment, and we don't know exactly how this is going to pan out. The legislature is coming into session next week, and certainly a key item of business, other than the impeachment question, will be what to do about the naming of the replacement for Senator, or for now President-elect Obama, in the U.S. Senate, because there is a wide movement that says that Governor Blagojevich should no longer have the power the sole power to name that person, and there's indications, I believe, in Washington that person probably wouldn't be seated in the Senate anyway if named by this governor, who is now under this legal cloud. So there is a talk of a special election. Senator Durbin from Springfield, United States Senator, has called for that. Of course, this will involve a lot of time. It involves a change of Illinois law. Now, if you change Illinois law, that means the governor has to act on it. This governor is notorious for spending a month or more waiting to act on any bill that comes to his desk. So Illinois could end up being without a second senator for a long period of time if this goes on as it is. Of the people calling for Governor Blagojevich to resign, including several newspaper editorial boards, the people who know Governor Blagojevich, I wouldn't say I'm a personal friend, but I've covered him for 6 years and more, and I don't think he'll resign, so that adds a complicating factor. The question of impeachment also could well come up, but it's complicated as well. It has to be brought up in the House and then be tried in the Senate. The new legislature comes into office on January 14th. I'm not sure. I suppose the legislature could act quickly on an impeachment move, but it may be much more likely, with due process required, that the new legislature would have to deal with this, so it would be at least mid-January before this happens. Of course, we don't know because this is a very rapidly developing story. What is interesting, of course, is that if you watch any of the national 24/7 networks or even the major networks, Illinois has been the lead story for about a day now. And that's not a fortunate thing because it's all about corruption in Illinois and what's wrong with Illinois because other governors have gone to jail, although in recent years they've been after their terms of office. So and of course we don't know if Governor Blagojevich is going to jail. His lawyer has said that the governor, he was quoted as saying that the governor doesn't think he did anything wrong. Now, a lot of the allegations that the feds brought out, and Patrick Fitzgerald, the prosecutor in Chicago, made a point of this, were based on tapes made of Governor Blagojevich himself with microphones that were either on his telephones or in his campaign office and at his home. And the incriminating statements were made by him. However, his lawyer says he doesn't think he's done anything wrong, so we'll see what happens with that. In the meantime, Illinois is somewhat of a laughingstock for a few days. The 2010 elections are around the corner, and a lot of politicians are lining up trying to figure out how to deal with this, but there aren't many friends at this moment standing at Governor Blagojevich's side.